Alright my friends, good morning, welcome to Lincolnshire on this fine morning, sun shining, skies are blue, and I've got a day off work and I'm going over to Burton Waters because there is an issue that I've got to address. On the port side of the boat there's a porthole, and it's been leaking really all winter. Not drastically leaking, but enough to make it sort of damp inside. So I'm going to attempt to take the window out, bring it home, give it a good clean, and what I want to do is, before I put it in the water, when I first got the boat, I just give it a paint of a black hammerite, I think it was, something like that. It looks a bit rough, so I want to take that off and spray it with a satin black and try to do a proper job, and then reseal it with I don't know yet, maybe a sealant or butyl tape, something like that. Not quite sure, but the first thing is to get to Burton Waters and try to get this thing out. I don't know how it's going to go. I've got no instructions. So it's going to be a case of suck it and see. Worst case scenario, I completely knacker it up and have to buy a new one. But anyway, fingers crossed that's not going to be the case, and everything will work out perfectly. So here we are on the boat, and that's the offending window. So it seems like it's held on externally with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pot rivets, which I'll have to drill out. You can see I painted that kind of black. I think I used the hammerite, if memory serves, and it looks a bit rough. So I'm going to take that off and redo it. I'm not going to bother changing the perspex. But I think it appears that it's leaking around the top here. So take this off, take it home, clean it all up, spray it, and then I'll put it back on. Hopefully it's going to be that easy. So first job, get these pot rivets drilled out. Right, so that's all the pot rivets out. I think there's some mastic around here that I need to just loosen up. Right, that's putting up a bit of a fight, that. Right, I'm going to go in and try it from the inside. Alright, so I've managed to there we go, got it. And there you go, state of that. I'm not surprised it's been leaking. That's wet there. Some old silicone. So what we've got, this is in 2 halves, so we've got 4 grub screws there, same on that side, which then this will come apart and I can get it to the inside and give all this a good clean. The challenge is always trying to get rid of this old silicone. It's a nightmare to remove, but I think it's fair to say that's a bit of a mess. There we go, it's a bit rough all around here, old silicone. So I've got some acetone on me. I'll give that a clean off, and just put a bit of polythene over that until I can come back and get it reinstalled. Right, so here we are back at home, and This little windows on the bench, you can see it's in a really poor condition. It's no wonder it's been leaking. The yard thing's going to be getting rid of this this old silicone. I don't know what it is. It's always a nightmare to get off, and even drenched in acetone, it doesn't really break it down. There's a lot of work in that actually, but it's got to come off and it's got to be cleaned. This black paint I'm going to take off as well and spray that a satin black. And these are the frames on the inside. These go as that goes through the boat, through the hole. It just sort of kind of seals it on the back. That's the finish on the back, so I'll give all that a good clean. Like I said earlier on, I'm not going to bother changing this perspex. I'm not going to go to that extent really. If I had some perspex here I probably would, but I don't, so I'm not going to bother. So the first job is to dismantle this. I've got 4 little grub screws on each end, and hopefully I can clear this silicone, and hopefully they'll come out. If they don't come out, I've got a problem. But anyway, let's have a crack. Right, so let's have a go. That one was easy enough. Only tiny little things, aren't they? Put that somewhere safe. Just seeing if I can get these out without removing that silicone first of all. That's number 2. That if I can remove. I can't remove that. Right, so I'm going to have to remove the silicone. Trusty Stanley knife. And the problem is the silicone gets on the screw head, and life becomes that much harder. Because the thing is, once I burr over these screws, I've got a serious problem. And that one's not looking great. Anyway, I'll not bore you with this. I'll persevere and come back once. I say once, hopefully I've got them all out and I can separate these 2 halves. Right, so here's the last one. I've removed 7. And there's always a pig, isn't there? And this is the pig. I mean, I've loosened this one, but they don't want to come. Right, so that's all the grub screws out. So now this should just easily come apart, which it does. And that's what we got left. Mess. So they're the 1, 2, 3, 5 components. Right, time to clean up. Now I've got to tackle this this black paint and get it back to the original aluminium. So what I'm thinking is giving this a coat of nitro Moors. Probably going to need a few applications. So I'll let that work its magic for a bit and then come back to it. Alright, so sometime later, let's have a look. Yeah, that's breaking down quite nicely. The reason that I painted this window in the first place is it looked, you know, the aluminium was quite rough, and you know, just by giving it a quick paint of Amorite, it did kind of tied it up somewhat. But now, you know, I've got a bit more time on my hands. I mean, I had so much. Those that followed the channel will know that the boat was in a really bad state when I got it. So whilst I always try to do a proper job first time around, equally, you know, I'm itching to get the boat ready, and because I want to go out, you know, cruising. So you know, I get the philosophy was try to get all the really important jobs done, you know, properly, and then over the space of the next sort of couple of summers I can get everything done. For those that can remember, you know, I changed the two, well, I didn't change the two side windows. I took them out and resealed them and put them back on. Had no problem at all. But because it was such a brain damaged job, I didn't do the front window. And lo and behold, this winter I've had problems with water getting in. So you know, that's a job that I've got to do in the next sort of week or so. Is take that window out and kind of reseal it with some tape, butyl tape, and
put it back in, and of course it's a lot harder once the boat's on the water than rather on its trailer, but lesson learnt. But it's something that I've got to do, so I'll get cracked on with that in a while. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this another application, nitro Moors, and then clean it all down with acetone. Right, let's get the rest of that off as best I can. It's a shame this aluminium ain't in very good condition, because you know, I think probably look a lot better than just you know, spraying it. But anyway, let's get some acetone, boater's best friend, acetone. See how clean we can get this. It's coming off quite nicely, not too much elbow grease, which is always a bonus. Right, so that's coming off quite nicely, so we'll carry on. Right, so there we are, kind of as clean as I think it needs to be. So that will, I think, spray up quite nicely. Well, I hope it will. Anyway, just got the other one to do, and then give it all a final clean, and then get a coat of satin black on it. Right, so here we are, ready for spraying. This is what I've gone for, this multi-purpose 151 spray paint, non-cracking, fast drying. You can over spray this in about 30 minutes, so and then the paint's completely dry in 24 hours. So I've never really done a lot of spraying before, so I'm not exactly sure how this is going to go, but we'll try our best.
I just put out, you don't do it on the face of it there, look, so that's...
Alright, so there you go, that's the first coat. A few little bubbles, but I'm kind of thinking that they will disappear as it dries, so put my stopwatch on for 30 minutes and I can give it another coat. So far, so good. Right, so it's been 30 minutes later, and it's looking okay. Coat number 2. looks really shiny. It don't actually dry like that, but if it did I'd be well pleased. But right, give that another half an hour. Right, so here we are. There's four coats of satin black, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it one more coat, and I think that's as good as it's going to be. I'm reasonably happy with that. Looks pretty smart. Right, so I'll just give that 24 hours now to dry off completely and harden, and the next step I suppose will be to put it back on the boat. But I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, looks pretty darn smart. I mean, not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, pretty good. Right, so that's 5 coats of satin black. It's all been cleaned off. I've got some I was going to use sealant to put it back on, but I think I'm going to use butyl tape. It's a lot cleaner to work with, so yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. So anyway, that's the end of the day. I've managed to take that off and get it all prepared and cleaned in one day. Just need it to harden off now and it can go back on. So the next time you'll see me, it'll be back at the boat putting it on. Until then, catch you later. Right, so good morning, back at Burton Waters to put this port window in. So here's the, let me spin the camera around. So there's the void that's left, all cleaned off, and the windows all been sprayed up, and we're just getting some butyl tape on the frame so we can offer it into place. Right, so there we have it. That's the butyl tape in place. It's a bit wider than what I would like, but I don't know, it's all got to be trimmed off anyway. Alright, so let's offer it up. Alright, so you can see I've just got the frame on the back of this window, and got a few screws in. So all I need to do is get these few screws in. These ones are just sort of screwed in very lightly so we can get an even kind of pressure on when we're ready to close up completely. Anyway, let's try to get these top screws in if we can. That's not done that a lot of good. Right, so there we are, completed. Trimmed all the butyl tape around there. It seems to have really bonded well around the edges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tidy up the pontoon, and then I'm going to give this side a wash down, because I never really get to this side of the boat, this port side, because it's the other side of my sort of walkway. So I'm going to take the opportunity to give the fenders a clean and the boat a clean. So we'll see whether that is now watertight.
Right, so there we are, all done. No leaks. Yeah, I'm more than happy with that. I clipped the boat to clean this side and it's nice and dry. So, and it looks quite smart as well. So, job well done. So all I need to do now is the starboard side, and that's another job ticked off.